This is David Kroodsma with Hub Culture. I'm joined by Ryan Schuchard, who is the manager of the Climate and Energy Group at BSR. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Can you tell me what BSR does and why you're here?
Sure. We're a global consultancy of global 1,000 companies. We've got 300 members, and we help companies on CSR, corporate responsibility. And we address climate as a basket of, as part of a basket of other CSR issues.
In CSR, that's them trying to be, why are they trying to be responsible? Is that for marketing? Is that for, what does that mean?
Well, it means a lot of things. For many companies, it means cutting waste, reducing inefficiency. It means improving relationships with the communities they're working in. In general, reducing environmental and social impacts that are negative.
And so you obviously then work on climate issues, help companies become more efficient, produce less carbon. I look at what companies are doing here, and I wonder why they're here, why they're saying they want to take action on climate change. Mm-hmm. Is it because they're the companies that are going to benefit from climate legislation? Or are they just greenwashing?
It's a good question. Most of the companies here are here because they see some interest. They have some enlightenment that a low carbon future is good for them. The greenwashing question is interesting. I mean, we're all part of the problem. We all flew here on jets. And so for all of us, there's some dissonance with speaking and what we're actually doing. But I think the key is, if you want to look for who's being genuine, is it's looking for the fundamental governance and transparency of their systems, and especially with policy engagement. So even the leaders have to do lobbying, which is a little bit of a charged, emotionally charged, politically charged issue. The question is, how open and transparent are they being about the governance of their systems for that? Are
you really encouraged by what you see China doing? Do you feel like businesses there are completely on board, or are you scared of the growing energy growth there?
So there's certainly a lot more action by business. I think here this year in Cancun, it just seems like there's a lot more discussion about business playing a greater role in the I guess the climate solution in general. And part of that is just a natural function of technology and financial innovation, making this easier to do.
So you're advising a company on how to protect itself from environmental risk. That is, and when you say that, that's doing something that the public is going to say, that's horrible. I don't want Coca-Cola to be polluting the water. And so you help them not pollute the water so they can protect themselves. Is that accurate?
For example, that would be one example, a hypothetical example.
Right.
And risk is a piece of it, but for many companies, it's also about increasing efficiency. And there's often a sense of more intrinsic responsibility.
But here's my question. So I am a consumer that cares. And I want to reward Coca-Cola for the good stuff it does. You know, it has this great water neutral program. But if they do something bad, I also want to be able to punish them. And so how do I decide to draw that line? Because all corporations could be doing better.
Yeah.
How do I, as a consumer, decide which ones I should be rewarding and which ones I should be punishing?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, there's trying to understand what's happening in the product value chain,
right.
But there's all kinds of development needs to happen with information, so you can actually track and see what's in the can of Coke. But there's also the organizational side. So companies, they're lobbying, and also a lot of the great things they're working with on suppliers might happen not within a sort of like the assembly line, but really as a part of the enterprise as a whole. And basically, it's limited right now with what you're able to see what's happening in companies, but it's also changing quickly. I mean, WikiLeaks, this whole issue is obviously has business applications or implications, and you know, the Good Guide and platforms like that are going to create transparency a lot more.
Great. Well, thank you. I'm David Kroodsma with Hub Culture, joined by Ryan Schuchard of BSR.